So the American people are about to pay an insane amount of money in order to continue to live here in the United States. But why is that? Well, that's what we're going to discuss in today's video. Because one of the things that we've been hearing from the Biden administration is that they are making this country the greatest country ever. They are making this country better than any other country, especially at this time. But there's also some pushback from lawmakers, from governors, from just the American people in general, saying that no, this country is not on track to be the greatest country ever because we have too much immigration. We have too many people entering into the United States at this time that it's going to cause a lot of problems. I want to address why this is because the facts are now showing that the American people are about to pay. I will address why this is in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So the first thing that you need to understand when it comes to people coming into the United States is they're coming into the U.S. for multiple different reasons. One of the main reasons, according to reports, according to many statements from people entering, is they're looking for work. They want to work. And that's perfectly fine. If you go through the proper channels and you come into the United States legally, go and get a work permit, great. Go and work. Now, nobody can fault somebody for that. However, here's the concern. What about all those people that are coming into the United States and working illegally? Well, working illegally, that is not something that you obviously legally can do, but they're still doing it in order to provide for themselves and their families. Here's something that those people can do legally. They can rent a house or an apartment. They can go and get health care, right? They can go and get an education or help educate their kids. And they can go and buy food. They can go and buy clothing, electronics. They can buy all that stuff legally. This is where it's turning into a concern for you. Because now you are going to have to pay more for those same electronics, for that same amount of food, for those clothes, for that apartment. You're going to have to pay more. Education is going to cost more money. So this means that the states, the cities, the local governments are going to have to figure out a way to bring in additional revenue because we are not going to get it from the federal government. I want to show you something. Now, actually, I want to read you this thing first because there's some statistics here that you need to know. All right, here's a couple of them. It says the increase in migrants in the U.S. will lift the GDP by 0.2% each year from 2024 to 2034 for the next decade. It says, okay, I want to read you this as well, that the Congressional Budget Office projects that immigration will boost the U.S. GDP by $7 trillion over the next decade. That's what the Biden administration has been touting. They've been telling the American people to stop looking at the immigration crisis. Look at what is actually in front of us. Look at the economy. Look how great we're doing. The economy is just booming. The stock market's going up. House prices going up. Everybody has a job. Well, is this really true? Well, no. As more migrants come into the United States, here's what's going to happen. The unemployment rate is going to drop. We know that. Companies are going to start making more money, right? We're already seeing that. And our economy is going to look stronger. That's exactly what's happening now. Here's the problem. This is what most people are not telling you. That if immigrants can come in and get a work permit, they can work, right? They can work perfectly fine. But here's part of the other problem. A lack of access to work permits is continuing to keep migrants from being able to exit shelters, from being able to provide for their own food, for their clothing, for their health care. It's now being put on the citizens of that city, residents, taxpayers. That's who's feeling the brunt of this. I want to read you this as well. This was a tweet. It says, do you know what happens when more people enter into the United States? It says, we will see prices for food increase. Housing will become less attainable and more expensive. We will see healthcare costs increase. Then what do you have with your wages? It says as more people are willing to work, employers gain more power, and with power, they will reduce your wages. I couldn't have said this better myself. This is exactly what is going to happen. As more people enter the United States, everybody has to eat, right? We have to have water. We need some type of nutrition. We need a place to stay. If we do not have, food, we have to go out there and get it. If we go and buy it, that now means there's more people, there's more demand for the same supply. And if demand goes up, supply stays the same, prices go up. If supply goes up and demand stays the same, prices actually go down. That's where things are different. But in this case, we are seeing prices rise across the board, which means get ready to see additional inflation. Get ready. When more people come into the United States and now they want to go and, try to go and work, right? Well, here's the problem. If they have to travel, I'm not talking about public transportation and getting a bus, right? And catching a bus. What if they go and buy a car? Now that person has a car, which means there's another vehicle on the road, right? There's more people trying to go and buy gas, right? Again, demand's going to be high, supply might stay the same. Or, and we never know, we may see OPEC decide to cut their output again, which would then cause gas prices to increase even more. What we are facing right now is we are facing winter rates for gas prices. What happens once we jump into the spring and summer and we get the summer mixture of gases? Then it's going to go up. That's part of the concern. And again, you are going to pay. Not only because of all these people coming into the United States, but just the way the economy works. The economy was already struggling a little bit. Even though everyone says the economy is great, it's not. Many people are struggling. Many people have just high amounts of debt, right? We've seen record debt levels for the American people, higher we've ever seen before. People are falling behind on payments for credit cards, cars, homes even, right? Student loans, they know they have about another 6 or 8 months before they have to start making payments there. So they're good. They can wait. But that's part of the problem, is the American people are going to be the ones that are paying. People that are just now coming into the United States, they are now seeing the prices for the very first time. Yes, they're very high, but at the same time, this is all that they've known. So they're gladly going to pay those prices. But for the American people, and I talked to somebody that manages a McDonald's just last week, or actually earlier this week, and they told me that what they are seeing is the types of cars coming through the drive-thru and coming into the parking lot, they're different. They're not those old beat-up cars that they used to see. Not the 1995 Toyota Corolla, okay? They're not seeing the 1990 Toyota Tercel, the Honda Civics. They're not seeing those. What they're seeing are the 2015 Hondas, the 2023 Yukons, right? The 2018 GMC Sierras. That's what they're seeing. They're seeing the newer vehicles, which would tell you that those people likely have money, which means the people that used to frequent McDonald's, they're not going there anymore. Number one, they probably can't afford it. So this is part of the issue. And I only bring this up because we are now starting to see the signs that yes, the United States, we still have about a 40% chance of a recession in 2024, which isn't high, but it's higher than what we want it to be. But the concern right now is that the American people are not ready for what's coming. And the Biden administration is telling us, don't worry about inflation, or don't worry about immigration. We will get that fixed. But just understand what that is doing to our GDP. He says our economy is strong, and that's why we need to vote for Biden in the upcoming presidential election. Now, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. That's really up to you. But just understand who we vote for, both in the House, the Senate, and for our president, is going to make a massive impact as to what bills get passed over the next 4 years. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is there's a lot of discussions happening right now whether or not this is going to be good or bad for the American people. But as always, I will be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.